I got to tell y'all a story about this guy before I get started, though. I consider it an honor for him to be here. I mean, he owns his own network marketing company. But he's one of the ones, I tell you, if you mad about reading books in the book club we talk about, then, you know, be mad at him. Because he's the one who introduced me to reading books. I mean, this guy used to always, every time I saw him, he would pass me a book. He said, man, you read this? And, you know, I would take it and read it. I ain't take it, put it in the car. I read it. Every time I saw him, he would give me a CD, or at that time, a cassette tape. Matter of fact, I still got a bunch of them now that I listen to. Some of y'all have listened to him, whether it was on the black market or whether you got it from him. You have heard him. He probably the most, he might have the most copied CD out here on the black market. But a lot of y'all have heard of him, but I tell you, you're talking about somebody who lived network marketing. He cares about people and wants to help them. I mean, the personal development king. A lot of times you don't hear about people like that. You know, you hear about some of the glamour people, but a lot of times the people that's really in the trenches, that's been in the folks' living rooms, that's been on the planes, that's drove the miles, that's done all that, a lot of times you don't hear about it. And they could be right there in your neighborhood, you don't even know them. You don't even know. I remember the first time I met this guy, I was in another company. I can't tell you the name, but it was kind of like After the Cash Is Gone Network. I was in, y'all put them together. And I went over his house. A friend of mine took me over his house. He actually tricked me and took me over this guy's house. He said, you know, I want you to ride with me somewhere. We went over his house, and he was sitting in his house, and I met him. And he was one of the first guys that told me about this documentation beat conversation all day. Because he was doing a program I did not understand at the time, because it was so simple. But I asked him the comp plan. And I remember him pulling out a book this big with checks in it. And he said, flip through that. I said, okay, I understand now. That's enough of the comp plan I need to know right here. And I'm gonna tell you, my story was that I went home and couldn't sleep. And I you know, if he remembered this, it was about 3 o'clock that day. I went home 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. I'm just sitting there on the sofa thinking about this. And I called this guy back about 10:30. I said, man, I'm coming back over there. And I went back over to his house, and he went over this plan with me again. And I still didn't get it. But I know he had to take his son to the movie late at night, and I was just sitting there at 12 o'clock. He looking at me like, man, I was looking at them checks. I was like, how could you be making this kind of money? I'm talking about in 96. And he was sitting right over there in Decatur. And he was making, you know, he probably made $1 million that year in 96, 97. And I didn't even know, never even heard of him, didn't know who he was. And, but being around him has literally changed my life, and probably I know some people here who have worked personally with him, like Deborah Laverne, I know Derek McWhirter. I don't know everybody that was a part of us then, because a lot of people dispersed, they lost the dream. But you know, he's one of the guys, I tell you, when you listen to him, you better take what he says the truth, because he ain't no perpetrator. This guy is doing everything he said he's done it, and he knows exactly what he's talking about. And I'm blessed that he's even here to do us a favor to even talk, because, you know, some people don't do that kind of stuff, you know, to get to a certain point. You know what I'm saying? So, man, y'all got to get on your feet and give this man a round of applause, Mr. Tyrone Best.
Woo! I ain't never seen this many black people in one room in separate church. Look, first, let me say this. Look, okay, when I start crying, don't think I'm no punk, okay? But I'm gonna try to get through this without crying. Because I'm gonna tell you something, folks, what you got going on here, this is unreal. No, you don't know what I'm saying to you. I've been doing this for 25 years. And what this elite team has put together, what I have just witnessed in the last hour, this is monumental. This is historic. There is no excuse for you not to do this. Absolutely. Absolutely. All you got to do is put them in this room. If you leave this environment and you are not fired up and you don't go pearl, diamond, whatever it is you want to go and hit your goals, it ain't the system. Okay? It's you. Now, I know that's starting out a little too strong for you. But I'm just sitting over there. I'm getting pumped. I'm just sitting there saying, what in the world have the... Look, what Mr. Fleming, the elite team, Laverne and Dubber and this whole team, what Yvette just gave you just a minute ago is worth $1 million of information. I'm just sitting there saying, look, I don't even know how you're still sitting here. I thought by now you'd be done ran out of the room and sponsored somebody. I'm just sitting there saying, Tony told me what to talk about. I said, man, so much stuff is going through my mind just sitting here listening to these guys pour out this information. And when I saw the guys told Tony, now you understand, I came in on the tail end, and I didn't know what they was doing. I said, that's Tony Fleming. He going, because Tony can tell some stories, boy. One of Tony's best stories to me was one night we was out there. He said, all people talk all the time. Tony said, this guy, he said, one time we finished a meeting, and this guy was outside walking around in circles. You probably heard him tell the story before. Guy said, oh, you don't know what you done now. I know everybody. I'm going to put everybody in this thing. You don't know what you've done. I know everybody. So he ain't seen that dude since that night. We still looking for him. Anyway, I want you to understand something. I am truly humbled just to be here. Just the fact that Mr. Fleming asked me to come here and speak, and when I walk in this room and I see all these faces, and you're a sharp-looking group of people, I'm telling you something. I'm blown away. This has been my dream, to look at a room and see this crowd of people. This is incredible. Do you know right now, I'm making a prediction. If you would take the information you've got from this weekend, in 24 months, the elite team will fill the Georgia Dome. Now, see, the Bible says if one can put 1,000 to flight, two can put 10,000. What can 1,000 do? I mean, literally, I'm just sitting here. I'm trying to tell you, people working at this industry their entire life to put together this kind of environment. See, it's the environment that creates the success, the energy, the team. You can't do it by yourself. But when you come to this environment and you feed off each other, you get fired up. And you take that away with you. This is an environment that will create millionaires all over this planet. This is unheard. I'm telling you from 25 years experience, you don't understand what I'm saying to you. It's impossible for you to understand. No, okay, let me speak positive. You do understand what I'm saying to you. Take it to heart. You're in the right place at the right time. Yvette said something. Don't get distracted with another network marketing opportunity. You got to do the same thing in all of them. You got to go talk to people, sponsor people, and get them on the product. You got to follow in all of them. And if you've gotten one check, you can get another one. If you've gotten two, you can get another one. Just keep doing the same thing you've always done. It ain't no different. I've been in this industry for 25 years. My first meeting, guess how many people showed up? None. Now that's not what we talk about today. I'm off track already. But I got to tell you this because sometimes, you read the magazine and it's all you see is the glamour. Some guy to come in and they take off. Boom, and they pearl right away. And you go, what's wrong with me? Ain't nothing wrong with you. You're just not coming from the same place they came from, so you got to walk your journey. It may take you 6 months. It may take you a year. It may take you 2 years. How much faith do you have? How much belief do you have? My wife a couple months ago asked me a question, when does faith become stupidity? See, when does faith become stupidity? And some of my spirit responded. I didn't respond. My spirit responded. Faith becomes stupidity the moment you quit. I want that to sink in. Faith becomes stupidity the moment you quit. Because see, when you quit, you just nullified your faith. See, nobody came to my meeting back in 1983. I didn't quit. I got mad. I got mad. Anybody ever got mad? I got mad. All my drinking buddies wouldn't show up. If I was having a beer party, they load up. How would they say, you having a barbecue, everybody come. Okay, sit around drinking beer, talking about how we're going to make some money. And then you call them about making some money, they stay home and watch TV. I got mad. My wife got mad. We had invited hundreds of people to the meeting. Nobody showed up. We got mad. We kept going. I said, I'd do it if it takes the rest of my life. Okay? About 4 years later, age 32, my wife retired. She retired at 32. I'm sharing this because I want you to understand, you got to see the dream. My son's 22. He has never known his mother to have a job. Outside, has never known his mother to have a job. Now, they told me it was a 2 to 5 year plan for freedom. Well, it took me 12 years. I retired at 40. Now, understand, it took 12 years. I ain't mad. All my friends still got a job. All my white friends still got a job. I'm like Tony. I wake up in the morning. I look at the wife and say, honey, what you want for breakfast? I'm the cook in my house. I said, what you want for breakfast? Or she'll wake me up some morning and say, it's 9 o'clock. When you going to cook up something to eat, baby? So I go downstairs and I cook a little breakfast. I walk around the house and we sit there and we chit-chat and we talk. About 9:30, the 7-year-old wake up. I got a 7-year-old. My wife woke up 45 years old and pregnant. See, when you're free, you got a lot of time to kill. You know? When the wife ain't stressed out about money, she says it's a good time to do it, baby. It's adult conversation, kids. Don't worry about it. Okay? And I sit there and play Thomas Train with my kids. Watch the Wiggles. Then about 11:30, I said, well, I better go to the office. So I go shower and go to the office. That's what this thing is all about. The ultimate dream in this industry is to get free. That's the ultimate dream. I mean, it's okay to make a little money, buy a lamp, buy a nice little car, but the ultimate dream is to put yourself in a position where you wake up when you get finished. Finish sleeping, I'm talking about. Or when you get tired of sleeping. Or when the bed start hurting. You ever been on vacation when the bed start hurting? That's what I'm talking. That's the ultimate dream. So I guess I'm so honored, really, truly, to be here because I'm looking at this room and saying, this is phenomenal. And you guys need to give yourself an applause just for being here. I mean it. Okay? I'm not just, I don't know what to say. I'm just looking at you guys and I don't know what to say. Just the fact that you're in this room, do you understand, put you in the top 5% income bracket just to be in this room. The money may not have manifested itself yet, but the money comes later. The work has to be done in here and in here, and then the money gonna come. See, the money don't come first. It would be nice if the money came first. It'd be so easy, but that's not the way it works. You gotta read, listen to tapes, come to meetings, listen to CDs. So I'm still back in the 80s, listen to tapes. Anyway, let me talk about what I'm supposed to be talking about. They say, I had a talk I was gonna do called 4 Steps to Success. Then I said 4 Steps to Prosperity. And then I changed, I said, I'm gonna talk so you can understand. 4 steps to getting rich. Anybody want to get rich? Anybody would like the money faster than later? Okay, see, rich is good. I'm about to tell you, rich is real good. People say, I'm not really into money. Don't go to work on Monday. Okay? I love it. You know when you say those folks, they say, I don't need no money. And you got to get out here because I got to go to work tomorrow. Okay? Please, everybody needs some money. Ain't no such thing as too much money. I love the idea about getting, look, rich is good. I was talking to my little nephew one day, said, Uncle Tyrone. He said, everybody in the family say you rich. He said, oh, you rich? I said, boy, compared to you, Uncle Tyrone is rich. Because you broke. I said, now compared to Oprah, Uncle Tyrone ain't got no money. I say it's all relative. So when I say rich, you got to put that number in your head as to what you think it is, because it's all relative. Okay, it's all relative. And compared to Oprah, ain't got no money. Compared to Bill Gates, Oprah ain't got no money. Okay, you understand what I'm saying? When I met Tony, I was making a whole lot of money. I remember, and the first thing I learned, I'm flying first class on the plane. I'm like sitting in first class. I looked out the window one day and said, that's a private jet. It's all relative. Guy, limo pulled up to the jet. He didn't have to go through security, nothing. Just private jet, just pull up there. Limo pulled up, guy gets out, walks to this jet. Didn't have to check a ticket or nothing. I'm looking out the window, looking at this, going, that's interesting. I'm still broke. You know? So I'm saying, so don't get all caught up. Just understand you're going to go through the journey, go through the process, and you're going to get to where you want to go. Trust the faith, trust the system, you'll get where you want to go. I'll tell one more little sidebar story on that. I was doing a meeting one time down in New Orleans. In fact, Tony and I was down there together. I think it was doing this meeting down there. It was a crazy meeting, man. And Dave Winfield was in the room. And you got to understand, Dave Winfield like 6'7", making about $10 million a year. And the guy was talking about how much money I was making. That guy making $40,000, $50,000 a month and all this kind of. I said, Dave, will you tell him that ain't no money? And Dave goes, you doing okay? I said, Dave, tell him the truth. Tell him 50 grand of money ain't no money. It's all relative. Dave said, no, you doing okay? When the meeting was finally over, we outside. I'm talking to Dave Winfield, his lawyer. I said, Dave, now you know 50 grand ain't no money. Dave said, bro, I don't know how you getting by. He said, I wouldn't know how to start downsizing to live on 50 grand. Okay, it's all relative. So, don't be impressed with me. Don't be impressed with anybody that say money is relative. Okay? The first thing is get free. See, in Georgia, in the South, you can be free on 50 grand a year. Live 50 grand a year, you can buy your house, have your couple cars, and you ain't got no job. The ultimate thing is get free first. And after you get free, you can work on getting wealthy. Okay, anyway, that's nuts. I don't need to tell you because you don't probably got all that stuff anymore. What I'm supposed to have is 4 steps. Let's start. First step 1. Decide what you want. You got to write this down. And it's simple. You've already heard it already today. Decide what you want. Yvette said, you got to decide, not let somebody else decide. You got to decide what it is that you want. Not what your upline want, not what your downline want, not what your mama told you should have wanted. What you want. You understand? Now, you say, well, I know what I want. No, you don't. Most people never make a conscious decision about what it is they want. Like, where would you like to live? What state? What city? Most of us get out of first week. They told us to go to kindergarten, went to kindergarten. Then they told us to go to elementary school, went to elementary school. Then they told us to go to high school. Then they told us to go to college. And then we went out and we came out and what do? We sell ourselves to the highest bidder. Okay, after high school, we sell ourselves to the highest bidder or college, whichever one, wherever. At some point when you enter into society, you sell yourself to the highest bidder. Okay, I know. I was graduate by Hampton University. Okay, I wanted to major communications. I majored communications, okay? Wanted a job and be a Boy Scout. Good evening, this is Ty Best with the news. But I had this southern accent 20 years ago, that just wasn't gonna fly, okay? And my professor said, you need to write for a living. Okay, I said, okay. But I came out of school and what? This automobile company offered me a job that was paying twice what anybody in the so-called industry I majored in wanted to give me. So what did I do? I took that job. Okay, I didn't say what I wanted. I took the job. So I'm saying we have to, at some point in our life, make a decision about what it is that we want. Okay? And once you decide what it is that you want, sit down sometime and just really start writing, well, where would we really like to live? When my wife and I were in California in 1995, we had actually bought a house up in Northern California. Well, it's in LA County, Northern LA County. And we were driving back after we bought this house. We looked at each other and said, do we want to live here? And we said no. And we just gave them like 10 grand deposit on this house, and we said, we don't want to live. Well, why are we doing this? Where do we want to live? We said, we want to live in Georgia. We said, well, what are we doing? And this is no exaggeration. We got out of that deal, bought a house here in Georgia. Okay, watch this now. Didn't know how I was going to move here. I still had a job in California. I bought a house in Georgia, sight unseen, because after living in California, everything in Georgia is a bargain. So you really, you can mail order a house to somebody in California. They don't care. Okay, anybody who lives in California know what I'm talking about, okay? It's like, is the house standing? Yeah, how much is it? Okay, great, I'll put the check in the mail. Okay, I mean, that's how bad, anyway, that's another story, another seminar. I'm more off track. Decide what you want. We decide we want to move here. Decide what you want. Make a conscious decision about what it is that you want. And once you decide, not just the house, the home, the car, what kind of car you want. Everybody know what kind of dream car they want. You have a picture of it in your house right now. This is a man conversation right here. Oh, it's not? Oh, okay, all right. Women got some dream cars too? Okay, that's my wife. She just got a dream chauffeur. That's all, okay. But, okay, because she don't like to drive no place, okay? But you got to decide, if it's a car you want, a particular car you want in mind, you got to go get a picture of it, you got to see it, you got to smell it, you got to try to sit in it every day. If you see yourself driving a 750 or a 500 SL, whatever it is that you got in your mind, you got to get that thing instilled in your spirit every single day. Okay, every day. I got a picture of a nice little Bentley right on my visor right now. It's a Bentley convertible. It's on my visor. Okay, it's about $200,000. It's powder blue with cream interior. It's nice. I look at it every day. I get in the car, flip it. Oh, yeah. That makes me wake up. Now, see, don't material things will drive you to do stuff. It's nice to say, well, I just want to make some more money for my church. Well, that's great, but does it make you get out of bed in the morning? Does it make you go do a meeting at night? Does it make you show the plan? Does it make you go talk to somebody? Does it make you prospect somebody? See, if it doesn't make you prospect somebody, then it's not motivational. You got to find something that fires you up. If it's a dream house that's 7,000 square feet, 6 bedrooms, 5 bedrooms, 4-car garage with a pool in the back and a pool inside, you got to get pictures of it. You got to put it around. You got to find something that will make you get up in the morning, that'll fire you up. I had a dream about buying a Rolex watch for a long time. Okay? I went out and bought it. I didn't buy it next day. I had the picture of it for a long time. I said, Submariner, that's what I want, $8,500. Okay? I only bring it out for special occasions like today. I'm kidding. I don't wear it to church. I don't wear it to my office. I get mugged, man. Somebody cut me. Look. I don't wear, hey, okay? You put $10,000 of jewelry on, you get hurt in Atlanta. Okay? You understand what I'm saying? I don't want to sound materialistic. Materialism, look, that materialism, anyway. You heard the story about the guy who was materialistic? You know, the guy who was in a car accident, man, he drove his Mercedes. He was driving his $100,000 Mercedes in a total car accident, man, got totally wrecked up, got messed up. I mean, got total. They pulled him out the car, man, he was unconscious for 15 minutes. He finally gained consciousness. He said, oh my God, my Mercedes. They said, man, your hand is over there lying in the street. He said, oh my God, my Rolex. That's materialism. See, you lost it now. Your hand on the street, you worry about your Rolex. Anyway. No, find something to motivate you. Okay, and most of you done heard this before. You all got to go. Everybody got to go. Say yes. Everybody know what they want? Do you have it written down somewhere? I mean, seriously written down, specific. And be careful what you write. Because see, you can write down something you think you want and realize later you don't want it after you get it. Okay? I wrote down one time I wanted to be one of the top motivational speakers in the country. That was back in 1980. I wrote down a card. They said, think go rich, said, write the stuff down on the card, right? So I had an index card, wrote it down. I read it every day. Read it. 2 years later, I was the national training manager for Toyota Motor Sales. I'm doing seminars every day of the week. I leave on Sunday, come back home on Friday. I said, this is not my dream. Know what you want. Now, once you decide what you want, and the reason most people don't decide what they want, I'm wrapping this thing up real quick. The reason most people never decide what they want because they don't want to pay the price. Step 2, after you decide what you want, you got to decide to pay the price. Because, see, freedom ain't free, folks. You got to decide to pay the price. Whatever that price is, as long as legal, ethical, and moral, you got to make a conscious decision that I'm going to pay the price. If it takes me 3 months, 3 years, or 30 years, I'm going to get this done. How many people want to be a diamond? They ain't there, Laverne. I'm telling you, they say, ooh. Okay? You got to be bold with that thing. How many people want to be a diamond? That's what I'm talking about. See, that thing got to get real to you. It got to hurt when you don't get it. It got to hurt you the next time you come to this meeting and somebody walk across this stage as a pearl or a diamond and it's not you. You got to be sitting there hurting. And if you ain't hurting, then you don't want it bad enough. So when I walk to a function and people walk out the stage free, I would cry because I wanted to be free. I was like Kunta Kinte. When I saw the plan that man said I could be free and I was 20 years old, I didn't know which way to run. I was like Kunta Kinte. I didn't know which direction freedom was. I just started running. Okay? Hey, Yvette said it. What did she say? Do something. Just do something. It might be wrong for a while, but you'll find out later it's wrong and you'll start doing the right thing. But do something. God can't stir a parked car. Do something. Come to a meeting. Do something. But some of you don't know what freedom is. I was 28 and the guy said, you ever thought about being free? I said, man, I'm already free. He said, no, you're not free. He wasn't talking to me directly. There's room about a couple hundred people. He said, you want to be free? I'm thinking to myself. I said, I'm already free. He said, I know some of you think you're free. He said, if you think you're free, don't show up on Monday morning, Tuesday morning, Wednesday morning, and by Thursday, you'll be free. Now, yeah? Anyway, I'm almost finished. Remember Roots? Kunta Kinte had already ran away. I don't know how many times. Didn't know who he was running to. But he knew what freedom was. He just kept running. I mean, can you imagine? He just wanted freedom. He knew it was somewhere where he was. It was somewhere where he wasn't. So he started running. And I'll never forget the last time he was running before he caught his foot. And he was doing all this stuff. He filed. I mean, can you imagine? He chained and he filing off every night. Just filed a little bit of the chain off, a little bit at a time. Because he got this dream of freedom in his head. Freedom in his head. Freedom in his head. And he finally got it off. And then when Lou Gossett come in, Lou Gossett said, oh, you done it now. Oh, you done it now. Now you've got to run. You got to run now. Boy, what you done. What you done. And here's Luther, here's, what's his name? LeVar Burton. I'm going to run, Fiddler. I'm going to run. And he finally packed up all the stuff, and he ran out the barn, and then the camera zoomed in on Lou Gossett. And Lou Gossett, because Kunta Kinte said, I got to go to freedom. I got to go to freedom. And after Lou Gossett ran out the barn, the camera zoomed in on LeVar Burton, on Fiddler, and he looked at the camera, and tears rolled down his eyes, and he says, what's this freedom thing? What's this freedom thing? Because Fiddler had no idea what freedom was because he'd never been free. Okay? Free is what you were when you were in the summertime, when you were a little kid, and you were 10 years old, and all you had to do was fish or chase frogs or play hopscotch. And mom and dad was worrying about the mortgage, and you were free. And you come to the house and mama, what's to eat? And food on the table. Yeah. And you take the pliers and change the TV channel. You know. And then when the picture go out, you just listen to the sound until you go to sleep. And all your plan was what you're going to do the next day. That's freedom. Freedom ain't free. got to pay the price. If that's 5 or 6 nights a week, it's 5 or 6 nights a week. It's 5 or 6 nights a week. It's every day. When I was chasing my dream for freedom, guess what? I had somebody to talk to at 7 o'clock in the morning. That's right. Right across from where my slave plantation, my job was, I had a 7 o'clock in the morning appointment. People in my job knew, Tyrone don't do social lunch. If Tyrone invites you to lunch, he gonna show you something. If Tyrone said, let's go to lunch, he about to sell you something. Everybody knew, okay? And at 5 o'clock when it was over, I did my job. I'm gonna say I did my job, but at 5 o'clock when it was over, I was showing the plan again. I see somebody at 5 o'clock, 5:30. That's the price. Okay? I had a group 3 hours away down in San Diego. It was 3 hours bumper-to-bumper traffic. My wife would meet me. She'd drive up in the van because she was free. She's a 100, we on this freedom train. And she'd drive in the van, and she'd come in the van, and she'd have a fresh new shirt for me to wear, and she'd meet me, and at 5 o'clock, I'd come out the building, and I'd jump into the van, and I'd change to my Superman outfit. Put my towel, put a new fresh towel, new shirt, and then we'd drive bumper-to-bumper all the way down to San Diego. And then I showed a little plan to the little group down there we had going on, and then we'd drive all the way back. I'm talking about sometime 2, 3 nights a week. How many people willing to do that? To get free? 3 hours, 4 hours. Look, the stuff with, okay. How much time I got, Tony? Tell me. Look, let me tell you something. The business today is so easy. It's a shame. Somebody says, send me something. Go to my website. In 1983, when I got started, there was no overnight mail. There was no three-way calling. The technology wasn't even available. There was no conference calling. If you wanted to sponsor somebody, you had to hop in your car, drive, and go see them, or fly and go see them. If they wanted to find information about your company, you had to put together a $10 pack of information, put it in the mail. Gee. Now it's like, check out my website. Does it make sense to you? Great. Company ship you the product. Man, anyway, don't give me I don't want to have flashback, like going to Vietnam or something. I'm saying you don't understand. It's so easy today. All you got to do is go through people, talk to people, talk to people, talk to people. You're not even delivering. Look, just give you a little scenario. Now, I got to get off this. Monday night was call-in night. And I was like, what is that? That's where everybody in your group call you with their order. Oh, see, look, what you talking about? What you talking about, Willis? And then you write everybody's order. You didn't put it in a computer. You longhand out everybody's order. You pulled out a calculator. You calculated it up. And then you the next day called it into your upline if you weren't already direct. Or you sent it in to the company. And then the company would ship it to you by Friday, and then everybody come to your house and pick it up. And then everybody give you a hot check. And you got till Tuesday to make all that money good. And the company don't care about your problems. Because when that check would bounce, now you want to see a snowball effect. Let that $10 check bounce. It bounced the $30 check, and then the $50 check, and you look, boom, $9,000 checks all bounce. Those were the good old days in the 80s of network marketing. Today, you just talk, send them to a website, talk, send them to a website, talk, send them to a website, talk, send them to a, and the company ship out there. The company sends out all bonus checks. It's just, anyway. I'm telling you. Anyway, you can work a whole life to be in an environment like this, never find it. You're in the right place at the right time. Decide to pay the price, whatever that price may be. Pay it. If it's legal, ethical, moral, pay it. 5, 6 nights a week, pay it. All day Saturday. See, if you spend time, if you know the TV schedule, you ain't after this thing. Okay? If you saw the last episodes of Grey's Anatomy, now come on, you got to be sorry, right? Just tape it. Okay? Or whatever it is you watch. All of us got this thing. Okay? Or the NBA Finals. I can't. Okay, it's playoffs on, man. I'm gonna put my business on hold till the NBA championship over. Look, nothing against them. Those guys getting paid. Okay? I hope you understand that. Go build your business. Okay? Decide what you want. Decide to pay the price. And let me say this real quick. The price is non-negotiable. You don't know what it is, but it is non-negotiable. See, if you decide to watch TV, The price hasn't changed. The price is still the same. You're just not going to get what you want. If you decide to be actively involved in other activities 4 or 5 nights a week, the price didn't change. The price is still the same. You're just not going to get what you want. You follow what I'm saying? So you got to decide to pay the price. It's a non-negotiable issue. And understand and build it with faith and belief and know you're going to get it. The third step, I'm not going to talk about that because Yvette covered that so well. The third step really is develop for you. You got book of the month. Leaders or readers, she said it. You got to read, folks. You got to read every single day. Look, we said what? We grow by what? Changing our mind. We change our mind. We change our mind. Thoughts create action. Action create habits. Habits create character, and character creates destiny. I'll say it again. Thoughts create actions. Actions create habits. Habits create character. Character creates destiny. Thoughts are created by what we read, what we listen to, what we see, who we associate with. Success is a simple process. Get around people going someplace. And when you get around people who are not going someplace, look at them like this. When they start running that negative stuff to you, like, oh, you doing that again? Whatever they got to say, okay? Because, you know, there's that committee, that negative committee out there, always got something to say about what you're doing, okay? I was called Soapy for about good 2-3 years. Then I was called a vitamin man, okay? I'm serious. I mean, my secretary called me the vitamin man. My secretary called me the vitamin man. You understand what I'm saying? I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I'm making 3 times more money on the job than she's making. I'm out here trying to figure out how to get free, and she thinks she's okay. Now, one of us is stupid, and it ain't me. Okay? Now, ain't got nothing against it. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying. I'm speaking all this stuff out of love. I love where I used to work before. I'm telling you what, if you got to be a slave, be one at where you got to have a job. Let me stop. I'm just playing, folks. And look, your job will finance your freedom. So don't write here tomorrow and say, Tabitha said, quit my job. I ain't say that. Keep your job. Your job will finance your road to freedom. Because I had a job, I'm telling you, for 18 years in corporate America. It financed my trip to freedom. Okay? The only thing wrong with a job is when you think you're supposed to have it for your entire life. That's the only problem. And then when you wake up one day at 55, 65, 75 years old and they say, it's been nice having you. You're all shocked. Don't be shocked. They've been doing it for people for 100 years. Don't be shocked. Okay? Right here in Atlanta, Georgia, what did they just do? Close the Ford plant, the GM plant. And people run around like, what am I going to do? I'm like, what you mean, what you going to do? They told you 3 years ago they was closing the place. Anyway, it's not straight. I'm off there. Decide what you want, decide to pay the price, develop personal development system. That means read books, listen to tapes every single day. You got to be willing to change. Everybody, you got to be willing to change. How many people willing to change? Okay. The information is going in your mind before, and what you've done before has got you where you are today. Where you're going to be tomorrow or 5 years from now is determined by who you associate with, the books you read, the things you do. So you got to do something different. Okay, that some of us don't want to change. If you say, I don't want to change, don't change. Got a friend of mine one time, went out and bought okay, I'm almost done. We went out and bought a parrot one time. I hope Tony already told you the story. Tony still a lot of my stuff, you know. Guy went out and bought a parrot. He didn't have a lot of money, so we got to the pet store, and he said, I want to buy a parrot. The guy said, well, I got some, I got some parrots. They all $300-$400. I said, no, man, I only got like $25-$30. He said, well, I got one on here for $30. You can have this parrot, but the parrot got a bad attitude. Parrot just got a bad attitude. He said, man, I'm telling you what. He said, but you can have him. The guy said, man, look, he says, I take him. He said, you understand, I'm an expert parrot trainer. I can change that parrot. He said, I got it. I take it. So sure enough, he goes and he get the parrot. The parrot said, hey, knucklehead, how you doing? You know you're a born loser. You know you're ugly. Your wife probably ugly too. Parrot just talking to him and talked this kind of trash to him. He brought the parrot home, man. He read books to the parrot. He played tapes for the parrot. He played video. He did everything he could trying to get this doggone parrot to change, and the parrot just would not change. Day after day, he took this abuse. Then one day he finally came home, walked to the parrot and said, hey, loser, how you doing? He was so upset that he had a bad day. He was just upset. He walked into the cage, grabbed that parrot by the neck, walked into the freezer, and threw that parrot in the freezer and slammed the freezer door. And the parent said, that's okay, you still ugly. And the parent was just talking through the freezer door. Just said, I don't care what you say. You still ugly, your wife ugly, your kids stupid. But about 15 minutes of that, then all of a sudden the parent got real quiet. He said, uh-oh, I done killed my bird. He said, oh my God, I done killed my bird. He said, you know how sometimes your kids make you upset, you want to choke them, but then you don't want to choke them, but you want to choke them? Okay, that was one of those kind of love-hate relationships. He goes to the freezer. Let me get my parrot out. Let me get my parrot out the freezer. He goes over the freezer door. Parrot steps out. Parrot said, "Oh, excuse me. First, let me apologize for my past behavior. You won't have any more problems out of me. I'm born again, Spirit-filled, Holy Ghost is speaking in tongues." The parent said, we will have a better relationship from now on. But before we start the new relationship, I do have one question. He said, what? What did that chicken do? Some of you going to get that on the way home. Sometimes people got to be motivated to change. There's nothing you can do. That parent looked there and saw that chicken plucked, head cut off, feet cut off, plucked, feather, frozen, said, whoa, 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 whoa. This guy means business. Now, you can't do that to your downline, even though you want to sometimes. Got to be willing to change, folks. Change is voluntary. You can do anything you want to do in your group, but if they're ready to change, they can't change. They say you can't make them change, and you can't drag them across the finish line. It's an inside job. Okay? Now, we all need to read books, personal development, and grow, because most of us have a well-defined sense of inferiority. We think everybody's smarter, better looking, more intelligent, and the truth is God gave all of us special gifts and special talent. We all have something to bring to the party, and we got to believe that about ourselves. That's why the books and the tapes are so important. We all have a well-defined sense of inferiority. So by the time we're 14 years old, each and every last one of us have heard the word no 20,000 times. We're scared of the word no. We can't stand the word no. That's why I encourage you. Tony got some of these books. He bought them for you. I encourage you to get it, because in that talk about how to overcome fear, rejection, and all those kind of things called enemies of your success. We done sold out about 100,000+ copies of this book. It's generic. It doesn't talk about anything specific. It just talks about the things we got to do. Have a dream, overcome objection, all those things. He got them in the back, okay? You can have, he got them back there. Tony, Mr. Fleming. Anyway, that's another story. That's my commercial, okay? But why is it so important that you read these books? Now, and I'm harping on this because see, I can sit right there and tell you, everybody here can be a millionaire. I know that, because see, I know where I came from. You understand? It ain't like I was born in one bedroom little house in Rocky Mount, North Carolina. I got 7 brothers and sisters, okay? And when I told my mom I was going to be a millionaire, she said, okay, baby. Now, I was blessed. That's a blessing. See, your mom said, okay, baby, you can do it. That's a blessing. I was blessed. My mom said you can do it. See, I was blessed. I realized what a blessing that was. My mom didn't say, you stupid. You better go get you a good trade, boy. Okay? My mom said I could do it. And I believed it, and I just kept believing and kept believing and kept believing. So I'm saying it's possible, but you got to believe. You got to get that thing. You got to overcome. Now you say, I don't have a self-image issue. I'm going to throw 2 tests to you, and I'm going to get off this subject, and then we're going to close. 2 tests real quick. 2 tests, self-image tests. One is, I had a speaker do this to me 25 years ago. He says, you think you feel good about yourself? You really do? He said, let me give you a little test. He said, if I gave you my Rolls Royce to drive, he said, at that time was a $150,000 Rolls Royce. Let's say I gave you my $400,000 Bentley to drive home. $400,000 Bentley. It's black. It's beautiful. I gave you that car to drive home. How many of you think you drive the speed limit? You drive a little safer. You be a little bit more cautious. And I was like, yeah, man, that's a $400,000 car. I'm gonna really take care of that thing. And the point he said, see, that's the point. The most valuable thing is you, not the car. But we place value on things. We do a subconscious, put value on things. We teach our kid. The kid knock over a lamp, running through the house, we beat the kid up. Kid break a glass, we scream at the kid for breaking a $1 glass from Family Dollar. The kids started to learn, that glass is more important than me. That's all of us. We started to learn that lamp's more important than me. that coffee table is more important than me. Ooh, the kid ran his little tricycle into daddy's truck and scratched it. Daddy flips out, goes crazy. Ooh, the truck's more important than me. And we internalize all that stuff. Now, none of us are perfect, so that's not what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say that we put value on these other things, and the most precious thing we have is this vessel we're in right now. And it's a temporary vessel. It's a transition vessel, okay? But we put value on that thing. They tell us stop eating fried chicken. We go, yeah. Then we fall and have a heart attack. Okay? We put value on other things. We have not been taught to value ourselves. And we have to learn to teach ourselves that. And I'm going to get off that subject. I'm not trying to say it because, anyway. I've done a lot of seminars with Dick Gregory, right, on health and fitness and nutrition. And Dick tells a story one time. It was so funny. He said he come out of the store one day. He saw this homeless guy sitting. The guy said, man, I need some food. And Dick handed the guy an apple. The guy said, is it organic? Because I don't just eat anything. He tells another story one time. One of his best stories one time, he said, counted someone, they had an arm full of water, just water everywhere, right? And this guy said, man, can you spare some change? Can you spare some change, help a brother out? And Dick said, yeah, man, help me carry this water to the car. The guy looked at Dick Gregory and said, man, if I want a job, I had one. You got nothing to do with anything. Fourth step and final step. Okay, first one, decide what you want, decide to pay the price. Third one, decide to change your personal belief in self. That's the personal development system's all about. Change that belief in who you are. Because you got to believe you're worth $1 million. You got to believe you can make $1 million. You got to see it and believe it. Okay? I love Jim Carrey has a great story. The actor Jim Carrey, he said when he was broke and destitute, living in his friend's apartment, he wrote himself a personal check for $20 million. He said at some point in my lifetime, somebody's going to pay me $20 million to make a movie. He wrote that check and stuck it in his wallet. 10 years later, they paid him $20 million for a movie. You got to believe this thing. The fourth step is belief. This is the final thing. I'm going to be done in 5 minutes. You got to get this belief thing right. You got to believe in a couple things. First thing you got to believe is in your company. Now, I don't know how you not believe in your company. I don't even know how that's possible, okay? Forget this meeting. I don't know how that's possible, okay, for you not to believe in your company. You got $1 billion company that's broken every record in this industry in the last 10 years. There is nothing to believe in. I don't know how you not believe in that. So that we don't need to spend 10 minutes talking about you need to believe in your company. How many of you believe? Yeah. There you go. You got to believe in your product, okay? You got to believe what you're doing. You got to believe that you're genuinely helping people restore their health. And then the third thing, after you got those out the way, you got to believe, truly you got to believe in your upline. You got to believe in your downline. I heard one time before said, I'm not what I think I am. I'm not what you think I am. I am what I think you think I am. I'll say it again. I'm not what I think I am. I'm not what you think I am. I am what I think you think I am. See, that person you sponsor ain't done in a year. If you keep seeing them as a diamond, seeing them as a diamond, seeing them as a diamond, they can become. Because people can rise to your expectation level. But if you say, I'm going there and see that loser again, okay, it's going to come through. You got to believe in the possibility of other people and what they can do and what's possible. And you might be the only person ever to tell them they can do something in their entire life. Most of them go through our entire life and know the reason I love this industry, why I've been in it for 25 years, it is the only industry on the planet where people look at you and say, you can do it, and I'll help you. You can do it, and I'll help you do it. And as long as you hang in there, I'll hang in there. I won't quit till you quit. I won't quit me, I'll quit you. You quit, ain't nothing I can do for you. But as long as you're in there fighting, I'm going to fight with you. As long as you're driving the miles, I'm going to drive the miles. As long as you got the dream, I got the dream for you. Your dream. That's belief. And you got to instill that belief. That's what this meeting's all about. I guarantee you, Tony and Shelly don't need a meeting. When that check come every week and every month, they believe. Do you understand what I'm saying? The meeting is for that brand new person. The meeting for the person who's just getting their dream instilled and solid. That's who the meeting's for, is to get that belief. And then you got to believe in yourself. I don't care how many people tell you no. You got to continue to believe that it's possible for you. I don't care how many people say yes. You got to continue to believe. You got to just sort of get like you just going, you know what you're doing, you know what you're doing, you know that you know that you know. It doesn't matter who quit, who stays in. You know that you know that you know. Because eventually, as the word says, do not become weary in well-doing. Eventually, you're going to reap a harvest. You don't know. You don't know when you plant that seed what's going to happen. As Robert Schuller says so many times, anybody can count the seeds in an apple, but only God can count the apples on the seed. Every time you share this progress about it, you plant the seed. Every time you share the opportunity about it, you plant the seed. And believe me, you need to have an attitude of gratitude because everybody's success in network marketing is everybody's success. Every time somebody gets free, be they on your team or somebody else's team, be they even in another company, okay, it's a validation that network marketing works. Okay? Do you understand that? We got to get this attitude of gratitude. You can't be hating. Okay? You can't be hating. I got a $65,000 Escalade out there. I love it. It's nice. Sit high. 22s. $10,000 of wheels. Fools. I like it. Some people hate it. That's on them. Somebody said, boy, you lucky. I said, yep, only 20 years of luck and work got it together. I'm blessed. Okay? You got it. Look, I'm happy for Tony's success, for your success, for the people in this room. The fact that you got a dream and you're here. You need to celebrate everybody's success. When somebody on your upline gets some, or somebody on your downline gets some, or somebody cross line, man, you need to be on the phone and tell, hey, did you know so-and-so just got a brand new BMW? Lord, blah, 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 blah. I mean, you need to be telling the good news because it's saying that if it's possible for them, it's possible for you, it's possible for them. Okay? Gratitude. Then I'm going to tell one last story, and I'm truly done. Last story about this thing. I've told this story I don't know how many times. So let's see. Decide what you want. Decide to pay the price. Personal development system. Decide to believe. Last story about belief. I'll tell this story. I love this. My son is 22 years old. I told his mother he's never known his mother to have a job. We got a 7-year-old. He's never known me to have a job or his mother to have a job. He don't. See, you can mess up your kids. You understand? Can you imagine if your kids see you around the house all day and then they go to school and she said, what do your parents do for a living? They go, where do your daddy work? Okay, let's try again. Where do your mom work? And kids come on and say, so what do we do? And you try to tell them, they go out to work and say, my daddy talks for a living. Everybody talks, but he talks for a living. Okay, anyway, that's another story. So my son, he's been listening to tapes all his life. See, now we're not going to change the life of your kids. I mean, I'm telling you, the information that you're getting right now, young man, just sitting in the front row, it may not make a lot of sense to you now. Okay? But my son's 22 years old. He's published 3 books, and he's never thought about having a job. It's never even occurred to him to go to a job interview. Okay? It's never crossed his mind. Okay? We built a 7,400 square foot home, but a whole suite for him on one side of the house. It's all his. We don't even go over there, because you go over there, it's like a jungle. Okay? We don't even go over there. He ain't thinking about moving. Okay? It ain't crossed his mind. Okay? Now he works for us, he does stuff, he takes care of his baby brother, and he does, because I'm going to tell you something, don't be 50 and have kids. Praise God when you do, but I'm going to tell you something, because the only way look, my wife and I pass out, that 5-year-old be running the whole house, cooking, frying, anyway. Let me get back to my story, I'm going to be finished. I'm trying to wrap this up. I'm having too much fun with you guys. I mean, I want to say it again. I'm truly humbled to be here. I mean, I'm humbled. I'm so impressed by you as a group that I cannot emphasize this enough. You got to stay like this. Don't let no strife come in between you guys. Don't let anybody come in between you guys. Lock hands. Like Pa Cartwright said on Bonanza one day, he says, Little Joe, let me tell you what the problem is. You always want to run off on your own and do your thing. He said, come here, boy, give me a branch. And he gave him one branch, he broke it. He said, see how easy that was? He said, they give him a handful of branches. And they gave him a handful of branches, and now you try to break it. And you can't break a cord. See, when you're like that, nobody can break it. You gotta stay together. So anyway, last story. So anyway, my son, he's now 22, he was about 4 or 5 years old. And we was going out to a meeting that night, and I'll never forget this story. And I always tell this story. I like to end with this story because it gave you something to go home with. And we was going out to do a meeting that night, and I'll never forget, I had a job, still had a job, just back in 1989, 1990. I still had a job, so we go do this meeting. But we stopped the Toys R Us on the way to this meeting, and we bought this little airplane called a stealth bomber. And my son, who's 5 years old, he said, Dad, when we get back home, we're going to put this together. And I looked at my son, I said, yeah, son, we're going to put this thing back together. He said, hey, we'll put it back together, no problem. We'll be back home about 10 o'clock. I figured we'd put it together because it's a work night, you know. But sure enough, as you know how meetings go, if it goes good, sometimes it goes late. Well, we rolled in the house about 1 o'clock, and that boy was still awake. And he looked at me and said, Dad, let's put my plane together. Now, see, with my son, my word is my bond. If I say something, that's what I'm going to do. And see, my son been listening to tapes, Zig Ziglar, Brian Tracy, Les Brown. He been listening to stuff all his life. Okay, he can, look, you can't talk him into anything. My son at 5 years old looked at me one day at 7-Eleven and said, Dad, should I get the chocolate cupcake or the yellow cupcake? And see, you're not a salesman, you don't understand that. He did an either or close on me. He didn't care which one he got. See, that boy sharp. See, he didn't ask, could he have a cupcake? He said, should I get the chocolate cupcake or the yellow cupcake? 5 years old. I said, boy, that's good. You can have both of them. I said, that was good. I mean, that's some good stuff. At 5 years old. This is my, I mean, he just sitting in the back of the car listening to tapes, but he's sitting in seminars just like you sitting in seminars, just sitting in seminars, got his own mind. One day we was in Virginia, my whole family. My sister came up to him and said, he was sitting there reading a book. My sister said, all the kids, he's 5 years old, are going to Chuck E. Cheese. My sister said it again. She says, all the kids, Alex, are going to Chuck E. Cheese. My sister said, he said, Dad, what does that mean? Oh, what she's trying to say in Southern is, all the kids are going to Chuck E. Cheese, you ought to go too. He said, oh, I don't want to go. Now the point is, just because everybody's doing something don't mean he need to do it. He didn't even get the concept. Okay. He was like, what does she mean by that? Everybody's doing this, so I should do it too. Okay? Anyway, so we get back home, he's wide awake. He says to me, Dad, we'll put together my plane. I said, oh boy, I'm tired, I gotta go to work the next day. I was gonna give me some sleep. I said, yeah, son, okay, we put together a plane. So we started putting together a plane. Look, it's 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. Finally, about 4 o'clock in the morning, I said, it's like 100 pieces in this thing. I finally looked at him. I just threw the thing on the floor in the living room floor. I said, I can't do this. I gotta go to work tomorrow. I can't do this. 5 years old now. My son looked at me straight and I said, Dad, you can do it, Dad. You can do it. Now, see, it's nice to be on stage having a seminar. But see, that's when the rubber meets the road, man. I mean, I'm saying, yeah, that's right. I started jamming pieces all together, kicking pieces on the couch. You know, I'm doing all kinds of stuff. Okay? Finally, about 6:30 in the morning, man, I put that whole thing together. I said, here you go, son. He said, Dad, thank you. He gave me a big hug. I walked in, took a shower, got dressed, and went to work. See? Now, I come back home, he had took the whole thing apart. But the point of that story I'm trying to make is this. The beautiful thing about network marketing is there's always somebody there to say you can do it. Always somebody there to say you can do it. So as Yvette said, it's great to be in this room all together with a bunch of believers. But what you gonna do when you leave here? When the rubber meets the road, when you're out there by yourself driving home after a no-show, or going to a meeting somebody didn't show up, or coming home from a meeting nobody got in. What you gonna do then? Okay? And all I want you to do is remember your feeling you have in this room. And remember in the back of your head that Tony and Shelley say you can do it. Laverne said you can do it. Yvette said that you can do it. Your upline said you can do it. Okay? And if all else fails, remember this little guy who's 50 pounds overweight on stage saying to you, you can do it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.